اليمن يمن حين للهنا يا روح ما بدي منكي لكم خلعة ولا لا 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 بدي زنار بين اليمن يمن حين للهنا يا روح إلا غزال اللي دي جوين ليكم محبوس بين اليمن يمن حين للهنا يا روح ما بدي منكي لكم خلعة ولا لا 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 بدي ملبوس بين اليمن يمن حين للهنا يا روح الحلم اللي كان رح يفتح باب الدكان بكرة منرجع زي زمان وتصيروا تيجوا عنا شعبنا جبار ما نسيوا مفتاح الدار كبروا أطفال الحجار وبحوا ريحة الحارة مشتاقة أرجع عند ترابك يا أقصانا أوصل بابك ونتلاقى نحضن أهلنا نطمن أطفالنا في بلاد السلام شاملي لالي يا ويلي لالي شاملي لالي يا ويلي علي لالي وابولو لو تفتح شاملي لالي يا ويلي وانا الليلة لبعت بعيلي للريح الشاملي لالي يا ويلي يا صيلي لبينا ويلي على رحلي يابا يا ويلي Last night I had a dream in the land of olive trees from the river to the sea my people tasted freedom soon those hellish skies turn to blue and starry nights as our voices start to rise we're ending an apartheid hold on just a little longer we're going home just a little longer hold on glory's round the corner we're going home with our waving flag يا طالعين حين للجبل يا مولي لموقدين النار بين اليمن يمن حين للهنا يا روح إلا غزال اللي دي جوين ليكم ميدوم بين اليمن يمن حين للهنا يا روح
Okay, so I'm going to stop the song.
Welcome to the Lebanese American University course on Media and Palestine. I hope that everyone is safe. Today is November 29th, the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People as declared by the United Nations. We are broadcasting live from Beirut, where we have just endured a war launched by Israel and is now under a fragile ceasefire. This war on Lebanon is not isolated. It is part of the same aggression that continues to oppress our people in Palestine. Whether in Gaza, the West Bank, or here in Lebanon, we are all facing the same aggressor driven by the same policies of occupation, domination, and violence. A warm welcome to everyone listening online and to those who have joined us here on Beirut campus. Today and always, we stand together in solidarity and resilience.
Okay. According to UNESCO, the date of 29 November is observed as the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People since 1978. The date, which was chosen because of its meaning and significance to the Palestinian people, is based on the call by the United Nations General Assembly for an annual observance of the resolution on the partition of Palestine, what was become known as the Palestinian Plan. adopted on the 29th of November in 1947. Today, the marks of 77 years since the UN General Assembly passed non-binding vote for the partitions plan that resulted in the ongoing Nakba in Palestine. Today, the world must stand for a free Palestine, and this broadcast aims to amplify solidarity with the Palestinian people.
Students in the Media and Palestine course are hosting this live broadcast to bring attention to the important tales of resiliency, identity, and cultural preservation that are frequently left out of the mainstream discourse. This broadcast aims to highlight the ongoing genocide and colonial violence faced by Palestinians, focusing on their resilience, identity, and cultural preservation. While mainstreaming media often overlooks the West Bank, the doubling of checkpoints, military raids, and attacks on cities like Jenin continue to devastate and destroy Palestinian communities. Our goal is to bring attention to these untold stories, reminding the world that Palestinian history and legacy are far from forgotten. We hope you stay with us here on YouTube for the live broadcast and check out our content at our course website www.media-palestine.online. We will be back with our first segment.
نحن طلاب مادة الإعلام وفلسطين من الجامعة اللبنانية الأمريكية، ويسعدنا أن نقدم لكم اليوم بثاً مباشراً من أمام مبنى صفدي عند الساعة 12:30. خلال هذه المادة أتيحت لنا الفرصة لزيارة مخيم صبرا وشتيلة، حيث التقينا بأفراد فلسطينيين أبرياء يعيشون يومياً تحديات اللجوء والصمود. استمعنا إلى قصصهم ولمسنا معاناتهم وآمالهم التي تبقى رغم كل شيء حية ومفعمة بالأمل. هذا البث يأتي خصيصاً بمناسبة يوم التضامن مع فلسطين، وهو ثمرة جهد كبيرة بذلناه على مدار الأسابيع الماضية. قامت كل مجموعة منا بالعمل على موضوع محدد يهدف إلى تسليط الضوء على القضية الفلسطينية من زوايا مختلفة لنصل إلى هذه النتائج التي نفتخر بها ونأمل أن تترك أثراً دائماً. عملنا هذا ليس مجرد واجب دراسي، بل هو رسالة تضامن، أمل وإصرار على أن نبقي صوت فلسطين حياً.
Welcome and thank you for joining us today on this special broadcast produced by Asil Yaghi, Lara Al-Haj, Haya Atallah, Rawan Harb, Hala Badran, Maryam Isa, Farah Rino, and Luna Jafra Sabani. Today, experiencing the ceasefire after an aggressive war on Lebanon, we shine a spotlight on a crucial topic: the UN's trap, feeding Palestinian fish, not teaching them how to fish, on the International Day of Solidarity with Palestinian People. We hope you enjoy this broadcast.
Oh, that's it? That's the trailer? I played the trailer? Yeah, sorry. Group one.
For millions of Palestinian refugees, the United Nations Refugee Committees is a lifeline. Even though that lifeline is under siege facing political.
The UN's job feeding Palestinian fish,
not teaching
them how to fish.
For millions of Palestinian refugees, the United Nations Refugee Committees is a lifeline. Even though that lifeline is under siege facing political pressures, funding withdrawals, and attacks on humanitarian workers, we can't ignore that their focus on immediate relief often overshadows the fight for Palestinians' right of return, inadvertently prolonging their struggles.
Are also, put in place to keep the situation going. We can think about even though, of course, the UN agencies are not necessarily working in the same framework as NGOs, but we can think of the NGO industrial complex, which had been implemented in many ways as a tool of imperialism in order to not just create, but to perpetuate a continuous mode of crisis that works on the politics of fear, while at the same time preventing liberation and revolutions.
With exclusive interviews with experts, refugees, and aid workers, we captured the voice of students, ordinary citizens, and those fighting for a just solution.
It's definitely not enough to accommodate for the number of refugees, for the people that are getting displaced, for all the people that have had to leave their homes and flee and evacuate. And honestly, I feel like on a worldwide scale, we should be, pushing for better reform, for better accommodations when it comes to the refugee crisis.
Is to empower the youth, because Jafra believes in the role of the youth in enhancing the resilience of the communities.
And we piece together a story of struggle and hope. Then we ask the hard questions.
Why are Palestinians not given their land back? Why don't Palestinians have the right to return to their homes, to Palestine, to be liberated and free, and to live on their own land and not to depend on the mercy of international organizations?
On this International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, we bring you a broadcast that amplifies their voices and reveals stark truths. A broadcast that demands accountability, justice, and the realization of a free Palestine. To understand more about this topic, make sure to watch our full segment. Stay tuned for the broadcast.
You're back live. Who has intro extra? On mine? Yes. Laura?
So first, we conducted in-depth research on the topic, delving into the UN's background and its efforts to assist Palestinian refugees. This allowed us to gain a comprehensive understanding of the topic and identify individuals for interviews, incorporating both secondary and primary sources. We interviewed professionals, including Dr. Daniel Lidrick, a communication professor at LU, Fadi Abu Halawa from the Jafra Foundation, and Malak Khalid, a Palestinian journalist.
So it's Hala next? Yes, it's Hala. I don't speak. This is her? Oh, I'm sorry.
And the right of return. Subsequently, we compiled clips and images from various media channels to produce an emotionally impactful and informative trailer showcasing the resilience of Palestinian refugees and UN's effort to support them.
Oh, you're sorry. And then here's Farah. And then
We chose the UN trap as our topic because we need to shed light on the challenges and limitations of the work of the UN refugee committees and how it works under challenging circumstances to support and help Palestinians. This topic is significant since it shows the lies of international funding and their help in supporting UN refugee committees that stand with Palestinians.
Yeah. This topic is essential to assess the work of UN refugee committees that stand with Palestinians. This topic is essential to assess the work of the UN refugee committees under these challenges and limitations. Through this topic, we aim to raise awareness of the work of international funding and its influence on UN refugee committees that aim to help Palestinians and ensure that the rights of Palestinians are supported.
We used a variety of approaches throughout our process. We interviewed academicians, humanitarian workers, refugees, and students exclusively. We traced the effects of decades of policy and practice by examining reports and historical documents. Crucially, we included first-hand accounts of endurance and loss from students, residents, and survivors of the continuing conflicts of Lebanon.
Our team pulled this solidarity broadcast together during a time of war, a war that is not just about Lebanon, but about the liberation of Palestine. We honor our displaced classmates and those who suffered unimaginable loss. Your resilience inspires our work.
We want you to think about these tales and carry on the discussion as we come to a close. Go to media/palestine.online to view the entire segment and further content from us. Let's work together to elevate the voices of justice advocates. At the start of the semester, our Media and Palestine class began like any other. We explored the camps, visited exhibitions, and dove into our studies, all while war raged on Gaza and South Lebanon. But as the war in Lebanon intensified, everything changed. We were forced to transition online, adapting a new way of learning. Despite these challenges, our commitment never wavered. Together, we channeled our passion into creating this broadcast as a tribute to Palestine. It's more than just a project, it's a message of resilience, solidarity, and hope. We invite you to watch, to learn, and to reflect on our untold stories of the Palestinian struggle. The broadcast is available online on YouTube and Instagram, and we are hosting a live broadcast here at the Lebanese American University in Beirut, in the Safati building, as part of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People.
نحن طلاب مادة الإعلام وفلسطين من الجامعة اللبنانية الأمريكية، ويسعدنا أن نقدم لكم اليوم بثاً مباشراً من أمام مبنى صفدي عند الساعة 12:30. خلال هذه المادة أتيحت لنا الفرصة لزيارة مخيم صبرا وشتيلة، حيث التقينا بأفراد فلسطينيين أبرياء يعيشون يومياً تحديات اللجوء والصمود. استمعنا إلى قصصهم ولمسنا معاناتهم وآمالهم التي تبقى رغم كل شيء حية ومفعمة بالأمل. هذا البث يأتي خصيصاً بمناسبة يوم التضامن مع فلسطين، وهو ثمرة جهد كبيرة بذلناه على مدار الأسابيع الماضية. قامت كل مجموعة منا بالعمل على موضوع محدد يهدف إلى تسليط الضوء على القضية الفلسطينية من زوايا مختلفة، لنصل إلى هذه النتائج التي نفتخر بها ونأمل أن تترك أثراً دائماً. عملنا هذا ليس مجرد واجب دراسي، بل هو رسالة تضامن، أمل وإصرار على أن نبقي صوت فلسطين حياً.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our broadcast. My name is Sabila Zaiter, and alongside my colleagues Noor Fawaz, Salim, Noor Asrawi, and Amira Shadia, we are excited to share with you a powerful exploration of Palestinian resilience through cultural preservation. We've had the honor of speaking with three incredible people for this project, and they kindly shared their personal tales with us. These people have maintained their strong ties to the land and culture that characterize Palestinian identity in spite of decades of displacement, restrictions, and hardships, and ongoing genocide. We learn from their experiences how customs like frameworks, cooking, storytelling, and cultural festivals serves as both active forms of resistance against attempts to obliterate Palestinian history and means of conserving the past. These customs, which have been carried down through the ages, are representations of resilience and fortitude in the face of constant genocide. Despite the challenges they have endured, they have remained deeply connected to the land, traditions, and the cultural heritage that define Palestinian identity. Their stories are a testament to the power of culture as a means of survival.
Palestine has been a crossroads of civilizations for thousands of years, serving as a cultural and religious hub. Cities like Jerusalem, Hebron, and Nablus are not only historically significant, but also central to the cultural identity of Palestinians. However, the history of Palestine is marked by colonial invasion, oppression, and genocides. During the Nakba in 1948, over 700,000 Palestinians were forcibly displaced from their homes as the State of Israel was established. Hundreds of villages were destroyed, and many Palestinians became refugees, a status that persists for millions today. Since 1967, the Israeli occupation of the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza has intensified. Land confiscation, settlement expansion, and restrictions on movement have created significant challenges for Palestinians. This displacement marked the beginning of a struggle that continues to this day, as we now also see genocide unfolding right in front of our eyes. Despite these devastating hardships, Palestinians have shown remarkable resilience. Their connection to the land remains strong, as reflected in their cultural traditions, agricultural practices, and communal life. This connection serves as both a symbol of identity and a form of resistance against efforts to erase their history and presence. Palestinians have not only survived, they've resisted. Resistance isn't always armed, it's found in the everyday acts of holding on to land, language, and traditions.
Palestinian farmers play a crucial role in preserving their cultural and historical ties to the land. Olive trees in particular symbolize endurance and steadfastness. Many families continue to harvest olives from trees that have been tended for generations. The act of farming not just economic. It's deeply tied to identity and resistance. Farmers often face threat of land or destruction of crop, yet they persist, viewing their work as a form of defense. Palestinian food tradition are another cornerstone of cultural preservations. Dishes like makluba, مسخنة, and knefe use a local ingredients such as olive oil, summa, and fresh herbs. Preparing and sharing these meals is an act of cultural continuity, particularly in the diaspora, where maintaining a sense of Palestinians' identity is crucial. Cooking traditional meals become a way of passing heritage to younger generation, ensuring the survival of culture memory.
So storytelling, as we know, it served for a long time as this means for Palestinians to document their history and pass it down to future generations. Elders, they've been sharing stories of uh, their life before displacement, before they got displaced, of their village, of traditions tied to the land. And this oral history, it stands against attempts to remove the Palestinian narratives from global discourse. And while it tries to keep the connection to the homeland alive, it keeps the connection to the homeland alive regardless, even whether it's in exile. It doesn't matter. and and cultural practices basically they range from the debke dance to embroidery to music. They serve as like this living expression as of Palestinian heritage. And debke, it's a traditional folk dance. It expresses unity and joy. It's performed during weddings and celebrations. And the Palestinian embroidery, it's very filled with complicated patterns, you know, which and regional variations, which they serve as this perceptible link to identity, and they're often worn proudly as like the statement of resilience up till this day. And yeah, the kufi, for example, a scarf, it's made with these embroideries and special patterns, and it's the most prominent. It's the most prominent clothing in all of Palestine, and it's shown in festivals too. In festivals, they celebrate these traditions. They help foster a community, and they ensure that even with the challenges that the Palestinians are currently facing, regardless, they will stay resilient, and the culture, it will remain vibrant.
So Palestinian resistance is multifaceted, encompassing both political and cultural dimensions. While protest and activism are visibly forms of resistance, the preservation of heritage is equally powerful. Practices like farming, storytelling, and cooking, as we just mentioned, are quiet yet profound acts of defiance against efforts to erase Palestinian identity. They assert the presence of people deeply connected to their land and their history. Resistance has flourished in many forms throughout Palestinian history. One of the most prominent figures is articulating the spirit of resistance is poet Mahmoud Darwish. The poet Mahmoud Darwish once wrote, we have on this land that which makes life worth living." His words captured the essence of Palestinian resilience, a love for life, culture, and connection that cannot be extinguished. These culture expressions reinforce the idea that resilience is rooted in everyday acts of living and thriving despite adversity. We will now play you our trailer. If you are interested in further understanding the preservation of Palestinian culture and roots of resilience, then you can find our broadcast segment on the website. There are three different interviews, different individuals from Palestinian backgrounds. They offer us authentic perspectives on preserving their culture and rising above the oppression of Israeli regime.
What gives me hope is the resilience, because Palestinian people are very strong and they have been resisting way before Israel. Like Palestine is one of the most conquered lands ever in human time. Like Jerusalem itself has been conquered so many times by so many empires, and Palestinians worked so hard to free it every time. And this time, although the enemy is more cruel, more harsh, more weaponized, and more destructive, Palestinians still continue to fight and still continue to resist, and that's what makes you hopeful about the future.
Okay, there was a small part at the beginning of our trailer. I don't know, I think there was a glitch. We couldn't watch it. So the Palestinian people continue to exhibit incredible fortitude in the face of this genocide. As demonstrated by the people accounts told today, they are entitled to more than simple survival. They should be able to see a better future and experience self-reliance, empowerment, and support. But the question still stands. Is survival really sufficient? Can merely existing be sufficient in a world where fundamental rights and dignity are suppressed? Or should the struggle for freedom, justice, and self-determination be the real test of resilience? As we consider these tales, we are reminded that resilience is about working towards a time when one's culture, heritage, and identity are completely accepted and cherished, not merely about preserving. Thank you.
يا طالعين عين للجبل يا مول للمقيدين النار بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح ما بدي منكي لكم خلعة ولا لا بدي زنار بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح إلا غزال للي دي جوين لليكم محبوس بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح ما بدي منكي لكم خلعة ولا لا بدي ملبوس بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح الحلم اللي كان رح يفتح باب الدكان بكرة منرجع زي زمان وتصيروا تيجوا عنا شعبنا جبار ما نسيوا مفتاح الدار كبروا أطفال الحجار وبحوا ريحة الحارة مشتاقة أرجع عند ترابك يا أقصانا أوصل بابك ونتلاقى نحضن أهلنا نطمن أطفالنا في بلاد السلام شاملي لالي يا ويلي لالي شاملي لالي يا ويلو علي لالي وابولو لم تفتح شاملي لالي يا ويلو وانا الليلة ربعت عيلي للريح الشاملي لالي يا ويلو يا صيلي لالي يا ويلي على يحملي لابا يا ويلو Last night I had a dream in the land of olive trees from the river to the sea my people tasted freedom soon those hellish skies turn to blue and starry nights as our voices start to rise we're ending an apartheid hold on just a little longer we're going home just a little longer hold on glory's round the corner we're going home with our waving flag يا طالعين عين للجبل يا مول لموقدين النار بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح إلا غزال للي دي جوين لليكم ميدون بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح
نحن طلاب مادة الإعلام وفلسطين من الجامعة اللبنانية الأمريكية ويسعدنا أن نقدم لكم اليوم بثاً مباشراً من أمام مبنى صفدي عند الساعة 12:30. خلال هذه المادة أتيحت لنا الفرصة لزيارة مخيم صبرا وشتيلة حيث التقينا بأفراد فلسطينيين أبرياء يعيشون يومياً تحديات اللجوء والصمود. استمعنا إلى قصصهم ولمسنا معاناتهم وآمالهم التي تبقى رغم كل شيء حية ومفعمة بالأمل. هذا البث يأتي خصيصاً بمناسبة يوم التضامن مع فلسطين، وهو ثمرة جهد كبيرة بذلناه على مدار الأسابيع الماضية. قامت كل مجموعة منا بالعمل على موضوع محدد يهدف إلى تسليط الضوء على القضية الفلسطينية من زوايا مختلفة لنصل إلى هذه النتائج التي نفتخر بها ونأمل أن تترك أثراً دائماً. عملنا هذا ليس مجرد واجب دراسي، بل هو رسالة تضامن، أمل وإصرار على أن نبقي صوت فلسطين حياً.
At the start of the semester, our Media and Palestine class began like any other. We explored the camps, visited exhibitions, and dove into our studies, all while war raged on Gaza and South Lebanon. But as the war in Lebanon intensified, everything changed. We were forced to transition online, adapting a new way of learning. Despite these challenges, our commitment never wavered. Together, we channeled our passion into creating this broadcast as a tribute to Palestine. It's more than just a project, it's a message of resilience, solidarity, and hope. We invite you to watch, to learn, and to reflect on our untold stories of the Palestinian struggle. The broadcast is available online on YouTube and Instagram, and we are hosting a live broadcast here at the Lebanese American University in Beirut, in the Safati building, as part of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our broadcast segment. We are Leah, Judy, Elena, and Georgette. And today, we're diving deeper into the many ways Gen Z is actively standing in solidarity with Palestine. Generation Z refers to those born between 1997 and 2012, known for being the digital generation and being very tech savvy. This collective action This segment is a reflection of hope, resilience, and the power of collective action. We hope that through this trailer, you are not only inspired to watch the full segment, but also stand in solidarity with Palestine.
The Palestinian cause is not a local or regional issue, it's a global human rights movement. Media has been a crucial tool for the Palestinian people in their fight for national liberation and self determination. However, as the Israeli occupation commits genocide, journalists, activists, and creatives face not only direct targeting but also the broader media genocide that seeks to silence censorship, disinformation, and the targeting of media institutions in Palestine. Gen Z has recognized these challenges and turned to their own platforms, such as their social media accounts, blogs, and grassroots initiatives, to fill the gaps left by mainstream media. Today, we are witnessing a rise in the use of social media and grassroots initiatives to advocate for Palestinian rights, whether it's through TikTok, Instagram, or independent blogs. This generation is proving that activism knows no borders.
So, why does this matter? Because storytelling shapes the narrative, and narratives can justify genocide, but can also drive change. Through this segment, we aim to spotlight the incredible work being done by our fellow Gen Zers to reframe the narrative on Palestine, counter misinformation, and push for justice. Gen Z has proven to be a driving force in global movements, using creativity, technology, and collective action to amplify Palestinian voices and stories, especially now amidst the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Whether through social media activism, grassroots efforts, Gen Z has found unique and impactful ways to show unwavering support for the Palestinian cause.
Our segment highlights two key aspects of Gen Z solidarity. The first is content creation on social media, where art, music, and cultural resistance are used as a way to spread awareness and advocacy. Social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram have become powerful tools for the Palestinian liberation. Gen Z creators are using their platforms to make art, music, videos, and infographics that educate and inspire global audiences to take action, challenge Zionist narratives, and also advocate for a free Palestine. We've seen artists creating visual pieces for Palestine, musicians using traditional Palestinian folk music and blending it with contemporary sounds, and many more. We've also seen a rise in citizen journalism, where content creators and social media users are documenting events in real time, whether it be sharing personal stories, eyewitness accounts, or real life updates, and as a way to document this all the way from Gaza to the West Bank, Lebanon, and beyond.
Sorry about that. Okay. But activism doesn't stop online. Gen Z is taking action beyond the digital sphere, participating in protests, organizing boycotts, and producing independent media in what we call grassroots initiatives. So, protests have erupted worldwide from Tokyo to Barcelona to London and New York and to Beirut and more, led in large part by Gen Z activists who are unafraid to call out injustice. So, these actions are not just symbolic, they apply real pressure on governments, corporations, and institutions complicit in the occupation. Boycotts have been also a major tool. Gen Z is using platforms like social media to promote the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, encouraging people to withdraw their support from companies that are profiting from the occupation. So now, let's watch the trailer together. What do you think sets Gen Z apart in their solidarity with Palestine?
Sets Gen Z apart from the rest is their ability to unlock knowledge and understanding through social media. Things that larger news organizations just won't show you.
Gen Z believes in the power of social media more than older generations, especially since we have seen what type of impact social media does in previous years for previous humanitarian or political issues.
Gen Z is quite different from other generations. They tend to receive information differently, which is why Gen Z activists know that, and they tend to present the information using a certain format, using a certain language.
This time around, the impact is definitely greater because Gen Z's activism is more immediate, decentralized, and very creative.
Gen Z isn't just watching history unfold, they're shaping it. With their voices, their platforms, and their unyielding drive for justice, they're proving that solidarity can take many forms and it knows no borders. To find out the different forms Gen Z show their solidarity with Palestine, stay tuned for our full segment where we will dive deeper into many forms with examples and inspiring interviews.
Thank you for watching our trailer. As you saw, each one of us has conducted interviews with Gen Z activists who engage with the Palestinian conversation in their own unique way, such as creating educational content, showcasing live on-the-ground events, and amplifying Palestinian voices to demonstrate solidarity.
While challenges such as censorship and violence against journalists remain, the determination and creativity of our generation offer hope for a more just future for Palestinians. Together, we can challenge the Zionist narrative, inspire change, and continue the fight for justice.
What was particularly striking in our interviews was the emphasis on cultural preservation as an act of resistance. Some of our interviewees are working to change the narrative surrounding Palestine through their art, traditional craft, and storytelling. They see that this is a way to resist the erasure of Palestinian history, culture, and identity while reclaiming their own narrative in the face of the ongoing displacement and genocide. Through these efforts, Gen Z is demonstrating that activism isn't limited to one platform or method. It is about using every tool available to create meaningful change, a practice Palestinians have embraced for decades. We truly encourage you and every generation to do the same.
Ultimately, what we learned is that solidarity isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Each activist we spoke with brought a unique perspective, showcasing the diversity of approaches within this movement. They shared personal stories about what motivates their activism, from witnessing injustices firsthand to a feeling of responsibility to speak up for those whose voices are silenced. As today is the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, we ask that you always stand firm in your support for the Palestinian people as they continue to suffer brutally under the Israeli occupation and face genocide.
One thing that stood out in our interviews is the resilience and adaptability of Gen Z advocates. Despite facing challenges like censorship, social media shadow banning, and the overall toll it takes to witness such violence, they still find ways to advocate and amplify the voices of Palestinians. The purpose of our segment is to showcase the many ways Gen Z stands up for Palestine, and also showcase the many ways you, our viewer, can also stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine. We thank each and every one of our interviewees for their continuous efforts during such devastating times. Now, let's move on to the next group.
Time we will be free. One day when the light shines, we will be free. In our lifetime, we will be free. And they can bury us, but they will find out we are seeds. They can bury us, but they will find out we are seeds. I say free Palestine because I know of every massacre we suffered. The Nakba, Sabra, Shatila, and Rafah. My people have died a million times in the struggle, still they rise from the tide like a rose through the rubble. I see God himself in the eye of a refugee who'd rather die a martyr than live a life under siege. So if I'm not allowed to say from the river to the sea, then from the Rhine to the sea, Palestine will be free. Still they know they can't shake us. $1 billion sword to the neck. Death cannot break us, and every Palestinian refugee holds a key. One day we will return, no matter how long it takes us. In our lifetime, we will be free. One day when the light shines, we will be free. In our lifetime, we will be free. And they can bury us, but they will find out we are seeds.
I've seen massacres, I'm grateful to be alive. You appreciate life when you survive a genocide. Look in my eyes and tell me what you see. Ran out of tears to cry, right till Palestine is free. Got a problem with a system that doesn't want us existing. Turn the city to a prison that's missing living conditions. My mom's calling, she's telling me she kinda scared. I hear the bombs falling, I smell of death up in the air. My uncle lost his children, I lost my cousins. His tears watered the grave to let him know we still love some. Our schools turn to shelters for the rich and poor. I just pray for peace when I speak, I don't wish for war. Bodies laying out, ain't nothing to play about. I give my people hope, cause I'm the first who made it out. I'm just walking the path, this is God's plan. Building up my dreams with a rub touch from my hands.
يلمع النور ومنكن حرين في حياتنا منكن حرين لو دفنونا نرجع مزهرين.
Hello everyone and welcome to our broadcast
Morning, everyone. Thank you for watching us. Our group represents Voices of Resilience for Palestinian Women. And my name is Sarah Hassan, and my group is Tatiana, Huhu, and Tatiana Zain and Cynthia Huhu.
Hello everyone, welcome to our broadcast segment. Our team is Cindy Ho, Tatiana, and Sarah Hassan. Today, we're shedding light on the devastating humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Among the ongoing genocide and violence, Gaza faces catastrophic shortages of basic necessities like food, water, billions in desperate need.
This segment is a reflection of resilience, hope, and the urgent call for global solidarity. By focusing on the stories of Palestinian women who demonstrate difficult hardships while trying to remain strong in their communities.
We hope that through this trailer, you not only feel compelled to watch the full segment, but also join us in standing in solidarity with Gaza and its people.
For the women of Gaza, survival is an unending battle. With food supplies cut off, no medicine, and shelters destroyed, how can a mother protect her children? Their struggle is made worse with no humanitarian aid is coming. Blocked borders means no food, no medicine, no hope. Gaza's lifeline is being severed. These are not just stories, they are cries for help, drowned out by the noise of war. Will you listen? Because no mother should have to choose between hunger and safety, and no child should grow up in the shadow of war.
Us adults, we need to handle the situation, but the children can't cope. You don't. As for water, they sometimes wake up to drink water.
هي مجبرة أن تطعم أطفالها. في إحدى السيدات التقت فيها أقسمت يمين أنها لم تأكل من 3 أيام من أجل أن توفر الطعام فقط لا غير لأبنائها الصغار.
The humanitarian crisis in Gaza has reached a catastrophic level. As of November 2024, 91% of Gaza's population faces critical food insecurities, with winter worsening their condition. Restricted aid, ongoing violence, and destroyed infrastructure leaves families in desperate conditions, with no access to food, clean water, or healthcare. Their struggles are raised by blocked borders and silence from the world. No family should experience this. No mother should be forced to choose between feeding her children or keeping them safe. As you saw in the trailer, the urgent need to help and stand with Palestinians in the humanitarian crisis is undeniable. The reality is that nothing is reaching them. Their suffering continues in silence. Join us as we uncover the untold stories of Gaza's women, stories of survival, resilience, and hope among unending suffering.
Our segment highlights 2 key aspects of addressing the humanitarian crisis in Gaza: raising awareness and showcasing resilience and power. By amplifying the voices of those impacted, we aim to shed light on the devastating conditions in Gaza. At the same time, we focus on the strength and determination of humanitarian workers and activists who continue to fight for aid access and justice, demonstrating the power of collective action in the face of several challenges.
Our team, Voices of Resilience, is tackling the critical issue of access of humanitarian aid in Gaza, with a focus on how the lack of aid impacts women's basic needs and rights, Through our broadcast, we aim to shed light on the pressing topic by featuring interviews with experts such as Miriam Spear, who brings over 25 years of experience in the field of women's rights, gender equality, and research and teaching. In addition to that, Rafa, a Palestinian refugee living in Marielias, who works tirelessly to provide humanitarian assistance within her community. In addition to that, Dr. Jasmine Lilian Diab, the director of Institute of Migration Studies. Our aim is to show how Palestinian voices are showing the resilience through this live broadcast. We want to raise awareness for the people who are unaware of the suffering, genocide, displacement, and from migration.
In conclusion, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is a stark reminder of the urgent need for global awareness and solidarity. By amplifying the voices of those impacted, we can ensure their stories are heard and their struggles acknowledged. Together, we stand with Gaza. Let's proceed to the next segment.
At the start of the semester, our Media and Palestine class began like any other. We explored the camps, visited exhibitions, and dove into our studies, all while war raged on Gaza and South Lebanon. But as the war in Lebanon intensified, everything changed. We were forced to transition online, adapting a new way of learning. Despite these challenges, our commitment never wavered. Together, we channeled our passion into creating this broadcast as a tribute to Palestine. It's more than just a project, it's a message of resilience, solidarity, and hope. We invite you to watch, to learn, and to reflect on our untold stories of the Palestinian struggle. The broadcast is available online on YouTube and Instagram, and we are hosting a live broadcast here at the Lebanese American University in Beirut, in the Safati building, as part of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again. I'm Clara Hamami, and I have my colleagues with me, Yasmin Saad and Rawad Berbere. We proudly introduce you to our segment titled Her Voice, Unstoppable Resistance. You will probably ask yourselves, who does her voice refer to? Well, how can we talk about the Palestinian cause without mentioning and highlighting Palestinian women specifically? Palestinian women have been at the forefront of the resistance since the very beginning. These women have expanded their homeland cause globally and have become the voice of their communities. This is why, for change, we chose to be her voice, the voice of every Palestinian woman resisting and defying all obstacles. Therefore, our segment production is a tribute to celebrate each one of these women. In our video, we dive deep into the media representation of Palestinian women, their vital role in resistance throughout history, and how they challenge the very norms of resistance. To bring our group vision to life, we divided our production into three core parts. First, we wanted to challenge the portrayal of Palestinian women, often seen in the media as powerless and undervalued, while there are symbols of courage, resilience, and leadership. We used specific samples to showcase and analyze key examples of biased reporting, and we discussed how such portrayals often disregard women's independence and self-determination. This segment uncovers the harmful impact of these narratives and why it's crucial to shift the lens.
For the second part, we researched the long history of Palestinian women's resistance, their contributions to the continuous fight for freedom, and their unwavering resolve. After doing in-depth research, we discovered tales of bravery, determination, and selflessness. Palestinian women have been at the fourth line of the movement since the early 20th century, opposing all norms. They have participated in armed resistance, planned demonstrations, and given their villages critical assistance. We pay tribute to their memory and draw attention to the persistent injustices they encounter by sharing their tales. Their voices must be heard, and their rights must be fought for. By doing this, we encourage future generations to carry on the struggle for justice and freedom and advance a wider awareness of Palestinian struggle.
Our segment, we had the privilege of speaking with Fayrouz Salami, a 27-year-old Palestinian woman living in Palestine. For this interview, we chose Fayrouz for this interview because of her empowering voice and unwavering commitment to amplifying the realities of Palestinian women, but also to inspire others to see Palestinian women as agents of change, resilience, and hope. Fayrouz's insights and experiences offer a unique perspective that we believe is essential to understanding the broader narrative of Palestine. Now, let us all watch the trailer for our segment together.
The history of Palestinian women's resistance demonstrates their strength and determination. They have been leading the Palestinians' fight for freedom, opposing oppression and going against the norm.
سجل أنا عربية وبعرف اسمي.
The media uses language that dehumanizes Palestinian women and frame them as defenseless and as victims of the Israeli occupation.
هدي يا بحر هدي طولنا بغيبتنا.
In this segment, we had the privilege of speaking with Fayrouz Salami, a 27-year-old woman living in Palestine.
مرحبا، أنا فيروز سلامة. دائما المحددات الجندرية هي العائق الأول للامرأة في حرية الحركة وحرية التنقل وحرية بناء السردية الخاصة فيها. بحاول يحقر أو بحاول يحطها في قوالب نمطية. متى الاستعمار بيستخدم الهوية الجندرية كأداة قمع مضاعفة، يكون في دور فاعل للمرأة، كيف تحكي، كيف تتناول القضية، كيف تخلق توعية، استخدام جسد المرأة الفلسطينية كأداة عنف وقمع مستمرة. شيرين أبو عاقلة من الصحفيات الأحرار والأصوات الحرة والبارزة كانت، وتم استهدافها واغتيالها بشكل مباشر.
Thank you for watching with us. We hope this project sparks important conversation and sheds light on the untold stories of Palestinian women who continue to defy expectation and inspire change. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to check our full segment on the website. To all the Palestinian women out there fighting with every breath, we are proud of you. We are with you, and we will not stop praising your voice. To the people that are watching, together, let's continue to amplify the voices that matter, and let us not forget her voice for an unstoppable resistance. Thank you.
Moteur et action. تركنا المدينة الغربة الحزينة، سلم لي عريحة وسلم عالديرة يا طير الطاي الأرض الكريمة، مخدوش اللي فينا، سلم لي عريحة وسلم عالديرة يا طير الطاي.
As our broadcast comes to an end, we reflect on the passionate voices and touching narratives expressed in support of Palestinian people. From the historical context of the partition plan to the ongoing realities of displacement and resistance, we have aimed to shed light on the struggle of resilience and support of Palestine. This broadcast would not have been possible without the outstanding efforts of the Media Palestine course students coordinated by Dr. Gretchen King. In a time of war, when many of us faced displacement, loss, and profound uncertainty, this solidarity broadcast stands as a testament to the collective strength and commitment of the students of this course to justice. To those who have suffered unimaginable loss during this war on Lebanon, which is a war that is inseparable from the fight for the liberation of Palestine, our hearts are with you. Our goal remains to amplify awareness, to foster understanding, and to inspire action. The International Day of Solidarity with Palestine is not just a commemoration. It is a fight and a call to defend justice, humanity, and everyone's right to live in freedom and dignity. Thank you for joining us today on YouTube and for supporting the Media and Palestine course's mission to bring these vital stories to the front. And do not hesitate to discover more on our content at www.media-palestine.online. Special thanks to Hala, Fuad, George, and the multimedia staff for their efforts. And from here, from LAU Beirut campus, we say, free, free Palestine.
من النهر والجبال بلاقي انتمائي بين الشط والرمال بداية حياتي عليك يا وطن فرحة ومآسي عليك وطن الغالي فلسطين حبيبة تنادي فلسطين حبيبة تنادي
Hey, big dreams, heavy nights, praying that my family can stay alive. Imagine trying to fly with no wings, but I promise you the cage birds sing in the wintertime. Heavy nights, big dreams, praying that we make it to 16. And even though I travel the world, مش ملاقي زي فلسطين.
فات الوقت يا عمري راحوا سنين وناسي هذا والخطر مشروع
فات الوقت يا عمري راحوا سنين وناسي الهوام والخطر مشروط فات الوقت يا عمري راحوا سنين وناسي